The reason why we have done that is because we didn't want people to unsafely trade the NFTs that they're staking, because the author can unstake at any time. NFTs are coming next. Pretty much a complete project right now on the testnet. And what staking NFT does, it allows you to stake Zen, get an NFT, and have your stakes being portable that you can either sell or buy likewise on OpenSea. So you can buy somebody else's stakes. And staking Zen obviously generates yield for up to 1,000 days. And right now, I think it sits at about 19%, which is a very, very good yield for people who are getting in early. And we're still early, by the way.
Yeah.
And so the yield there drops for the initiation about 1% for each 90 days. So you can lock in your 19% for 1,000 days if you stake now. But if you're coming back in, let's say in 6 months, then your APY is going to be 17%, which you can also lock for 1,000 days.
Sure.
NFTs is a digital certificate of your stake that you can now trade and make it portable. So like, for example, without unstaking, you can sell it and somebody else will inherit your stake.
I see. So one question I've received from people regarding that is, if they are currently staked, if they have a billion staked at the 20% mark, which obviously is no longer available, will they be able to wrap that into one of the staking NFTs, or would they have to end that stake to then be able to wrap it into a XENFT, which would cost them, 1 percentage point?
Right. So I wouldn't recommend ending the stake, especially if you staked early, because you want to obviously run it through the full term. Unfortunately, you cannot wrap it into this NFT, because the way that this NFT has been designed, it embeds a virtual wallet inside this NFT, where when you stake now, you're staking it with your real wallet, which is not portable unless you give out your seed phrase, which then it will be portable for everybody.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
No.
So that which is staked now needs to stay that way in order to keep the APY, if it happens to be a higher APY than we are at this moment in time.
Right.
And then another question that was asked to me is, if I have a Zen NFT, staking NFT, excuse me, and I want to add more Zen to it, can I do that, or do I have to end that stake, bunch it all together, and then create a new staking NFT?
So ideally, you don't want to end anything. And by the way, when you use NFTs with staking, you cannot end your stake before the time runs out. That's an important distinction.
Oh, okay. So that's new, because if you're just staking the normal way, you can end at any time without penalty.
Exactly.
So
however,
tell me more about this.
So it's not even available for unstaking until the date for the end stake comes due. Now, the reason why we have done that is because we didn't want people to unsafely trade the NFTs that they're staking, because the author can unstake at any time, penalty free. So like, for example, you're saying, hey, Jack, I have this juicy NFT that's staking, and how about you pay me $1,000 for it? And I'll say, sure, I'll go ahead and do that. And then as the transfer happens within the same block, or maybe one block before, or even after, well, you cannot do it after, but anyway, just before the transfer, you end your stake, and I complete my transfer with this NFT that's empty. And that would be bad.
So you by doing that, by locking in the stake to the XENFT, you remove the fraud potential, essentially.
Right. So
nice.
You can only you can sell it, but the new owner will inherit the stake and still will not be able to unstake. So people need to know that those stakes have to be held to maturity to get anything.
Okay. Well, that's a really important thing to know, because it is different than the current staking as it stands. So thank you for bringing that up. I'm glad I asked the question.
The good news about this is that because Zen is not unstakeable, it actually makes this NFT more valuable.
Sure, because it removes it from the liquidity, essentially. Well, not the liquidity, excuse me, the total supply.
Right. So it makes Zen more valuable, but it makes the XENFT more valuable too, because you know for sure that nobody can unstake until 1,000 days. So within those 1,000 days, the value is locked.
Okay. Excellent. Glad I asked the question.